Discord.
Hey, welcome everybody to the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking, the man, the myth, the legend, and the most tired villain in all the DC universe, Mr. General Zod. Mainly tired because, unlike the good old days of sitting on my ass for hours during this corona pandemic, I'm actually fucking working. So, yeah, it makes these late night talks a little less late night. But tonight is the weekend talks, and we're here. I uh, I wanted to jump on this, and we're going to talk about this later. I wanted to jump on the fact that finally, and I predicted it, Boba Fett was going to be coming to the Mandalorian, and everyone was like, "No, no one wants to see him." Fuck everyone who said that, because I said this. If you go back through and watch my reviews, I said he was going to come to the Mandalorian. No one believed me. Hey, Jamie Vick, good to see you. No one believed me.
Do you believe me if I told you I found someone shitting on Boba Fett? They're like, "Oh, the
I don't want
Mandalorian."
to
Oh,
hear it.
I'm
I
no, no,
hate
no, no,
the
no, no. But
haters. I
This is
hate the
fucking
haters
this
so
is fucking
much.
hilarious. This is simplified. The person's like, "Oh, the Mandalorian. Look, I'm the badass," saying that he's a badass because didn't have to rely on comic books and stuff for a story. I'm like, okay, then someone obviously didn't watch the Clone Wars episodes that featured him as a kid that
Yeah,
actually
it's
built his character. You know.
oh, speaking of which, Timon Flip, what up? Yeah, so I mean, I can't wait. Season two is shaping up to be quite interesting. We also have confirmed Ahsoka and confirmed uh Boba Fett and two. Well, one of them I'd say is more of a well-known actor than the other, but still, I mean, you have a prequel actor, and and he's a pretty decent actor. I've seen him in other stuff, and you have a decent actress. So this is shaping up to be quite a season. It definitely drives my anticipation up. Uh, I don't know who's doing Star Wars over there, but there's definitely a change. So we're gonna talk about that
It
later.
is it's probably Favreau. It's definitely fucking Favreau and taking the chains, and probably the same with Filoni.
Well, I'd say over there shown. Kathleen Kennedy is still the higher up. Like no matter what people say, Kathleen Kennedy until we hear the announcement, and I want to hear it from fucking Iger himself. Kathleen Kennedy is still lurking in the shadows like the dark side. So I mean,
I mean,
you
we
know,
haven't heard shit about Ryan Johnson's trilogy.
yeah,
When's
but
that
Ryan
supposed to
Johnson,
happen again?
let's be real though. Here's the thing people don't understand. The Last Jedi was such a fucking polarizing movie. I don't think in just take any movie that's done a trilogy. There's never been one movie that's fucked. I'd say even Godfather 3 is more acceptable than that piece of shit that came out. And no one movie I don't believe has ever polarized the series as bad as that film. So I would have to say that Ryan Johnson, uh, once they saw what happened with the split, he wasn't getting that, and then slowly it was just deteriorated into the background. And let's look at the other thing too. Knives Out made a ridiculous amount of money, and they're talking about a spinoff and a sequel. So he's
Well,
busy and booked for the next couple of
it,
years.
here's the thing I've even thought of, even like before that movie came out. I'm like, there are some directors and stuff that are fantastic when it's their own original content. If they start touching something else that's established, they fuck it up and they do terribly.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't noticed that
Ryan
so much.
Johnson. Ryan Johnson. Look, I don't like Ryan Johnson uh touching that kind of a movie. But whether you like or hate him, some of his other stuff I admittedly do like. I own Looper. I liked Brick. Not enough for me to watch it again because it's one of those movies you just watch once, and once you figure shit out, it's not worth the second view. And Knives Out just pissed me off. because I figured out the mystery, but it was very well acted, as I said in my review. I just thought the whole thing became kind of convoluted towards the end of the film. But I mean, all in all, he's good in that still. Like small, independent, not a blockbuster person. And another person, Guy Ritchie, is one of my favorite directors. He did that extraordinary movie, The Gentleman, but did Aladdin. And I'm sorry, but Aladdin was a shit show. I don't care that it made $1 billion. It was a terrible fucking movie. Um, and when you see the difference between his directing style under Disney and then his directing style when he's allowed to direct himself, two very separate things. Like, he's the kind of person who needs to work within his own confines without someone standing over him and telling him how to direct something. And you could see that with how the story was.
Yeah. Freaking Michael Bay, I say this almost every once in a while. I said Michael Bay would have done a better job with this trilogy if he had all 3 of the movies than who they gave it to.
Yeah,
Before you guys get mad, here's what you should know. Michael Bay is notorious, yes, for explosions, but he is also notorious for women for having large breasts. He casts women with large breasts. That's the other thing. And that's like one of the things that Family Guy episode freaking showed the stereotypes of is like, all the guys are ripped and all the women are beautiful. And then you look back at it and you're like, it's fucking true. And then 2 and 3, you would have seen people lose their fucking limbs and be decapitated.
No,
like you did. You would have still you fucking prequels show decapitation, all right? Fucking Yoda chopped off all the clones' heads.
And hold on, let me see, we got Trey, what up, Trey Courtney, and we got Tara, what up? Good to see you guys here tonight, chilling with us. We're just hanging out. We're going to be talking some new stuff that I found out. I found out 2 things about The Mandalorian. One that's been covered vastly by everyone. I'm sorry, I do a late night show, so everyone breaks the fucking news before I have a chance to, but I'm going to put my own spin on it. So we're going to talk about the confirmed casting of Boba Fett, which I'm fucking ecstatic for, and also another rumor that will tie Rebels. And I know there's mixed feelings about that show. Fuck it, I like it. In the vast minority. And then
I would like this show if they just never invented the character Ezra.
Yeah, you know what? I have a mixed feeling, and actually, me and LB have been talking about me debating Rebels versus Clone Wars, which I like them both, but it'll be a funny thing to do because I like to make the argument of Rebels being better. So that should be a funny debate. Yeah, Trey, I know everyone says Rebels is trash. I disagree. Darth Vader versus Ahsoka, I'd put it up there with one of the top battles of Star Wars.
I look at all the clips of Rebels though, and all the best clips and parts of it is when Ezra's not there though. That's why I say it would be so much better
if him out.
If you take that whole series and you delete him out and then you put it all together, it's really nice.
The thing is, and we talked about this in my last season of Clone Wars review, the last episode, it's the animation style is vastly different.
It's not animation, it's art style. I found this out reading stuff. It's different. It's art style. Usually when people don't like something, they always say it's but it's the art style. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
hey, PB, you can't make any comments until you're in here, okay? Jesus Christ, talking about time travel. Yes, I know about time travel. We all know how I feel about the fucking space whales. And I don't care what people said. They're squids or whatever. It was a fucking stupid storyline, and I can't believe that they put that at the end to explain shit. both Thrawn and Ezra are fucking off in the middle of the galaxy somewhere.
Yeah,
So
I,
that'll
I
be
hope I
interesting.
hope Thrawn fucking kills him. We got fucking boom stabbed him in the face.
No,
No,
because they
because that'd be
account for
awesome. Because then that
Thrawn.
makes Thrawn, and when Thrawn comes back, it makes him an even bigger threat. Fucking Ezra's dead. Thrawn's back, baby.
No, Thrawn comes back before Ezra. He's actually in Shadows of the Empire, which is during the time of, I believe it's in between the Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. He runs the Second Sons or something like that, or he's in league with the Second Sons or something. Because after his defeat, he leaves the Empire and starts running criminal organizations. So
Yeah, it makes him interesting. Because there's still that 30-year fucking gap. I still hope they have something where he made his own successful empire, and then some stupid happened First Order. Just so then we can have a nice, awesome empire after the empire with
uh,
no fucking force users and super weapons.
So, with that being said, we'll get into all this Star Wars stuff. I want to wait for PV because I got quite a few Star Wars articles because there's actually some Star Wars shit to talk about that's worth talking about. But before we jump into that, I do got other articles and something no one's talked about that will be the first to cover it, Husky. I don't know if you looked through our chat. Don't say anything, but it also has to do with Disney Plus and something they're dropping the end of this month that virtually no one's fucking talking about. And I can't believe it because it's a direct tie into something huge. So I'll be dropping that news later tonight. But you'll find it if you look through our chat. It's like the first article I
Yeah,
pulled
yeah.
up.
You got the little article that I sent through, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. The irony of that article. I was looking, and I know I'm a fucked up person for laughing because of what happened to the person before the other thing that happened to him. So I am truly a villain because I started laughing when I first read it, and I'm like, oh, you're not even right for this. But so let's dive into the first thing because I know you're the gamer side of our group. So I want to get into a place that I haven't fucking gone to in years because they are such pieces of shit. This has to do with The Last of Us 2, and I'm sure you've heard about it because you've been keeping up on it. But
No.
GameStop is giddy about a feature that The Last of Us put in. It's an edgy feature where you get to kill fucking dogs. and okay, not only do you get to kill the dogs, but the owner of said dog will look for the dog, and then when they find the mangled corpse of you killing the dog in the game, they start crying and shit. And okay, I am not opposed to video game violence. I don't prescribe to the whole PETA thing and animals shouldn't be mistreated. I mean, it's a fucking video game, but as someone who likes dogs a lot and has had a dog and will have a dog again, the way GameStop frames this, okay, and the fucking creators had to come out and say something, like we don't co-sign this. They make it sound like this is the best feature. They fucking lead in this and it's on their website. You guys can go check it out. They lead with this brand new uh exciting feature in the game. I'm like, why the fuck out of all the things you could highlight, you highlight killing dogs? Do you know how many fucking dog owners there are in this world? I mean,
I mean,
what
if it was
the
cats, it'd
fuck?
be different. But
Yeah, no
then
one likes
again,
fucking
who
cats. I
fucking
mean, you. But
we'd
so
be like,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
I
oh,
got
looking for the
people.
cat. Cat's probably dead. Maybe he got hit by a truck.
Yeah, and Trey, don't worry. I'm gonna be getting to Scream 5. I got some feelings about the reboot, but I am happy that Nev Campbell co-signed. She's actually going to be behind the director's chair, which I'm happy because she understands the franchise. But we'll get into that. First, I'm gonna start off with this because this is fucking ridiculous. I gotta pull up this article. Like, I don't even know how to put into words how fucking stupid these people are. Like, I thought that GameStop had become showtastic, but the depths of how fucking scumbaggy this company has become is a whole new low. And some people covered this, but I mean, I've seen some bigger channels cover it, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. So, GameStop is way too excited about The Last of Us 2 dog murderer. This comes to us from Polygon. Uh, if there's one thing we can learn from Twitter account, can you pet the dog? And its 4,000 plus followers, is that people really want to pet dogs in video games. And that's why it's weird. GameStop seems to be so excited about dog violence in The Last of Us Part 2. I can't say this is a part of the game I'm looking forward to. People on Twitter were a ghastly description of the future we're circling are upset too. We've known for a while that dog violence is in the game. Naughty Dog co-game creator Anthony Newman told Polygon last year that it's sort of a regrettable violence. See, now the guy who made this comes out and
Hey, let PB in. I came back and now let PB in.
oh, okay.
Got here 5 seconds too late, and you already brought up the article. I was like, fuck, he's reading. And then I see Huskies on mute, and it says, be right back. I was like, shit. I'm going to be back here
Hold
for
on
a
a sec.
fig's amount of time.
Welcome, Welcome, PB. And I have a question from Jamie Vick at Generals. Can you at some point explain why you would do a stream to review a show that you have on video on demand and do nothing but spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but they want to see it? Oh, Jamie Vick.
Oh, you dick.
Jamie Vick, I didn't realize that the episode aired like pretty much a day earlier, so I will post spoiler warning next time. I apologize. Yeah,
I see what happened. So they
yeah.
release it on demand the day that it is released, but it doesn't go live until like 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so what happens is video on demand, one of the great perks is that you get to see the episode before people who have Showtime will get a chance to watch it. I mean, it Saturday night it's like on, and then you can watch it Sunday morning, and then the episode actually premieres Sunday night. So when I did my review Sunday morning, I did not realize that most people don't get a chance to see that because it's not available till like 9, 8 central. So I was like,
Aha.
oh, but yeah, so I'm
What
gonna
a
put
dictator.
yeah, so I'm gonna put like spoiler if you haven't seen the episode, come back, and I'll make sure I highlight through the episode. I think just to save you the trouble, Jamie Vick, because this question is from you, and I really appreciate you coming to the stream. I will give just a brief overview of the episode and my rating, and then if you want to bounce, I'll break it down at the end of the stream so that way people who haven't seen it can come and get my general opinion, and then I can go into detail about the things that annoy me or don't annoy me. It's actually surprisingly good. I went back through and watched the episodes again, so uh, we'll definitely the review is a work in progress. It's trial and error, so I appreciate her letting me know
Sounds a
that
lot
because
more like errors than trials.
yeah, I appreciate people letting me know because it's the first time of me doing like those kind of reviews. So I don't want to spoil the shit out of it for people because that's just a dick move. and I'm not Rise of Skywalker. I don't want to leak things. Anyways, so let's get into this Naughty Dog article. But first,
A
PB,
word
what
from
do
our
you think about
sponsor, Grass.
PB, what do you think about this exciting new feature where you get to kill dogs and watch their owners cry in pain?
I mean, I'm a big supporter of Chinese food.
But the cat tastes better though.
The cats do taste better. Like the Mungs got that figured out. They know what's up.
So okay, here's the thing. GameStop came out with this saying they were fucking giddy about this feature, while Naughty Dog co-game director came out and kind of framed it a little bit more tactful. He said it's sort of a regrettable violence. It's necessary for the character and the show the hard decisions you have to make in the world.
I
It's
want to know. I really need to know if there's an option. Kill the owner, take the dog, because that would be the better option, and I would definitely do that.
No, it's you just kill them to get past certain areas.
No, kill the owner, take the dog.
Nope, that's not a feature. I'm sorry.
I need that to be a feature in the game. Kill the owner, take the dog.
Well, as a fellow dog, you should write and tell them you're pissed. I mean, Cybernetic Husky, they're going to listen to you. They'll be like, shit, the dog community, we're losing them too? But GameStop's description feels like locked into the word dogs and just went with it. People like dogs, right? What about puzzles? This game's got it all. That's what GameStop put. And I swear to fuck, you could go to their website and see this. They put it in big cap marks. It's exciting wording. Like, wow. Dogs is one of the most noticeable new features of the game. Is the inclusion of dogs. These dogs are in the game to follow your scent and will attack you as soon as they sniffed you out. The game doesn't pull any punches or stray from the idea while you're playing as Ellie in a struggle to survive. Killing dogs is necessary. You'll also have to deal with the fact through that act, the dog has an owner, which will call out for the dog's name and cry in absolute horror when they discover their lifeless furry friend. You've been warned. Puzzles. Within the game are a litany of puzzles that you need to be solved in order to continue moving forward while incurring minimal damage. These puzzles are in the form of booby traps that you as Ellie need to lay to kill your attackers in the most efficient ways possible. Finding the best way to lure attackers into narrow doorways and ignite them Molotov cocktails is just one of the many puzzles you'll need to solve to continue when moving the right direction. And dedicated dodge button. Blah, blah, blah. That's just the features. Anyways, villager right activists, this Twitter person wrote this promotional email I just got about The Last of Us 2. So this was a promotional email sent out by GameStop. And it notes
Nice.
it just has the dogs part where you attack them to kill them. They cut out the rest of the features. They only highlighted the one feature. Not only is GameStop making this feature of the game, but it decided to make a pun to not stray from the idea. Get it? What the?
I wrote this earlier. I am
Yep,
very
I get
offended
it.
for the
That's why I'm
dog
not
community.
Naughty Dog Communications Director Irene Meyer clarified on Twitter that the developer didn't write or assist in writing the product description for GameStop. Either way, Naughty Dog has previously said that you don't have to kill dogs or other animals in the process of Last of Us 2. Sony called it more of a moral choice rather than flee, just take it out. They said in a PlayStation blog post, narratively, they're interesting because I think that's the kind of core to The Last of Us, the experience of kind of regrettable violence. The co-director Anthony Newman told Polygon last year, being forced to make regrettable decisions in these situations with the attack dog only heightens that feeling. So, my God, what, like, Naughty Dog, what the fuck are you doing over there? I
I
mean,
mean, they're called Naughty Dog. I mean, it's in the fucking name. I keep telling people this.
like,
Woof woof.
bad dog. I, I, you know,
Oh,
it's
he
been
shat
one.
all over the place inside the house.
It's been one terrible thing after another. And GameStop, if you think you're fucking helping, you're just there to sell games. Just put, it's a great game. It features new monsters. There's plot twists.
No, man,
And
they're
there's
just throwing
100 fucking different
gasoline on the fire to make it more fun, you know?
things. They're trying to burn this motherfucker down.
I mean,
I mean,
they probably think that they're going to be able to sell copies the same way that Red Dead sold copies when everybody saw the video of, hey, you can take this hooker and you can feed her to the gators. Like, people don't want to go around killing dogs, you fucking idiots.
yeah,
Because
Jamie
dogs
Vick,
are awesome
you
and
can.
people are pieces of shit.
Yeah, Jamie Vick,
For the most
you can
part.
get past the dogs without killing them. I mean, I don't want to talk about leaks on the channel because apparently you get pulled for mentioning anything, but
GameStop
I
should be
happen to,
pulled then.
yeah, they really should be, but I happen to know you can sneak past various situations. As a matter of fact, you can sneak past creatures, you can sneak past the dogs, you don't have to directly fight them. GameStop, however, chose to make the sticking point for selling the game to people who love animals that you can kill man's best friend and watch the owner scream in pain. I don't understand the marketing.
Wait, the
They
owner
got
is
this.
screaming in pain while you're murdering a dog? Like
No.
screaming in emotional pain?
No, the owner comes out, they find the dog, and they scream in emotional pain. Sometimes they say the dog's name and they cry over its body. It's fucked up.
Jesus.
Yeah, and here's my thing. I don't have a problem. Look, I came from the 90s. I don't have a problem with violent video games. I was one who said, fuck the government censoring and, coming into the realm of games when the whole Mortal Kombat thing went in. I was like, you know what? It's for an older audience, but this to me kind of feels ridiculous. Like
Whoever
it
promoted
serves
this
no
needs to go on the
purpose.
mental ward, though. If they're promoting it like it's fun, glory, I'm like, dude, yeah, you got some problems right there.
Like who I just want to know, like in the GameStop board meeting, what asshole is sitting there and going, you know what? This new feature is exciting. We need to lead with this dog killing thing. This is fucking exciting. I can't wait to
No,
kill me some dogs.
that's exactly the point. Because the whole gator thing, they didn't plug that anywhere. Like, there wasn't a company out there, either the people that made the game or the people that are selling the game or even the people that are reviewing the game, that are like, hey, this is awesome because you can do this one specific feature. It just happened to be that you could do that in the game and somebody found it, and then that particular video went viral and they were like, holy shit, look at this ridiculous thing that you can do in the game. Whereas this, yeah, you're right. Like, why are you telling me ahead of time, hey, look at this nasty fucking thing that you can do to one of our panelists? No, thank you.
I know. We love dogs on the channel. We have fucking cybernetic husky here. Cyber doesn't want to see his brethren being killed mercilessly by some asshole from GameStop.
I mean, if it's poodles, it's all right, man.
I mean, I don't want to see the poodle get killed per se because they're like that's like a punting type animal. Like you want to see it get punted. I don't want to see it land.
And the Senate puts PETA's gonna love this. Yeah, this is the one time I fucking hate PETA, but this is the one time where that PETA guy will come and make an argument, and I'll be like, yeah.
No, dude, he's talking about he's talking about the other PETA.
Trey
People
Courtney
eating tasty animals.
Trey Courtney saying if you y'all like dogs, don't watch Halloween. Well, let's see. I haven't watched Halloween because I don't really watch many horror movies. But I'm guessing the dog got killed by Mike Myers because he's a psychopath.
Which Halloween?
I don't know. He just said Halloween. Halloween
and,
69,
Halloween, but I don't know if he's talking about the original or the reboot.
Or the other stuff.
I don't remember them. That's not my jam. My jam is Nightmare on Elm Street.
High Earth.
He says the first one. That once again.
Okay, I assume that means the original.
The guy is a psychopath. He kills.
Yeah,
this article was written by a psychopath saying, "Hey, look, it's going to be fun killing dogs." It's like, what?
Oh my god!
Yeah, Michael Myers.
Somebody call the FBI right now. Who wrote this fucking article? Send the fucking troops over there. What does this guy have fucking chained up in his basement? Is that where Amanda Berry's cousin is?
Yeah, this is one of those things where there's just been terrible marketing, terrible handling this whole situation between the leaks, between the questionable story decisions, and this isn't like I'm jumping the gun and saying, they could edit this out in developing. There's like the game is done. They're just waiting to release it. So,
right,
I mean,
yeah.
All of this shit that's in here, we can't even give them the benefit and say, hold on, guys, they're still in the development state. They're done. They're on their final product. They can't edit it through.
I don't think this is going to be something that they're going to go through and make an entire massive patch and be like, yeah, so we got a little backlash. So we made this massive patch that was almost the size of the game because the dog murder was integral to the gameplay. So we fixed it.
And the thing is, too, like the creator said, it's a moral choice. I understand from the creator's perspective what they were saying they were trying to do. It actually does make sense, right? You have the moral ambiguity of, well, it'll be easier if I just fucking go through the dog to get to this area, or do I do the right decision and go around and maybe
kill the owner, take the dog,
or
exactly.
let cybers
eat that motherfucker. There's a lot more meat on a human than a dog.
Jesus Christ. Disclaimer. So anyways, I want to move on to
this is an apocalyptic future. This is many years after coronavirus has gotten to all of us.
But I do want to go with a big announcement, and I wanted to wait for PB because he loves connected universes, and this has to do with the biggest connected universe. Disney actually did a good surprise for once, but this comes from the Marvel division, so why are we not surprised they wouldn't have a good idea? They've been fucking up. So
okay.
So
I don't agree with that statement entirely, but okay.
we do have, they announced a little special thing they're giving us for this month. There was no plug for it, nothing. I just happened to come across the article, and
Yep.
Disney Plus is debuting new Marvel series with Nick Fury this month.
Called the
I know. I
motherfucker.
read the entire article. That's the video that I uploaded on our new channel, Prophets of Geek Culture, but I have yet to release it because I didn't do all of, the extra stuff that you don't know how to do.
Exactly.
They call it the motherfucker. Send it, get on that, Photoshop the Mandalorian thing, call it the motherfucker.
So, Plus has a brand new Marvel series debuting in just 1 week. Marvel has announced that an all-new animated show featuring S.H.I.E.L.D. boss Nick Fury will be arriving in the UK and US Friday, May 15th. I will be covering this on our new channel, The Prophets of Geek Culture. Fury
What do you mean
Files.
you'll be covering it? Like you're gonna review the episodes?
Yeah, I'm going to review the episodes, but I'll live stream it
Okay,
on our Prophets of Geek
intriguing.
Culture. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, I was looking at it. I'm like, this is good because we'll get a lot of Marvel people on here. So and maybe some people who didn't even know. But yeah, Marvel has announced an all new animated show that will feature the Shield boss, Fury Files. It will open Shield's more than 50 years of top secret files to give viewers the history of the most famous Marvel superheroes and villains, with Ultimate Spider-Man's voice, Chi McBride reprising his role as Nick Fury.
well, at
Uh,
least
here,
since it's on Disney Plus, you won't be able to spoil it for Jamie Vick because it will be released to her the same time as you.
yeah, I might do it like after the show airs and then just go on. So, here is the official synopsis. Fury Files drop on Disney Plus on Friday, May 15th. And you shouldn't be surprised that Nick Fury has files on every single Marvel hero. Fury Files gives viewers top secret access to S.H.I.E.L.D. intel on key Marvel heroes and villains. All of this is told by none other than the mysterious Fury, bringing together a mix of animation and motion comic art. Looking to download a bunch of information about a single hero? Fury's got you covered. Disney Plus is also currently working on the series What If, which actually reimagines the events from MCU, featuring the voices of the actors from those movies. For example, one episode will feature Peggy Carter becoming Captain America. What if?
Yeah,
Head
boy. Did you just say whatever?
No, what if? Uh,
Oh, okay. I thought you
head
said
of
whatever, and I was about to excoriate you.
I wouldn't say that about our girl Peggy. Uh,
Thank
head
you.
of animation, Steven recently confirmed that there would be no delay in that series premiering on Disney Plus, unlike live action Marvel shows Loki, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Hawkeye. Marvel also announced shows based on She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel are in the works, but have been delayed because of the work stoppage caused by the pandemic. So, yeah, I talked about this before because Castlevania 4, or season 4 is coming out, and they were not held up. Animation doesn't seem to be affected by this coronavirus shutdown. I guess the creators can work at their home or whatever the fuck it is they do. So, I mean, Disney Plus actually does a good surprise thing. Like, this was not announced, pitched. It wasn't in any of the release stuff when they were releasing Marvel shows, or they said they had shows in the works. But what do you think about
Well, yeah,
them?
they had the shows in the works, which were all the ones that were live action that we knew about, because I don't follow as closely the animated shows, because as far as I know, they're not directly connected to the MCU. At least they didn't used to be. But if they're going to be now, and this is going to reveal extra information that we weren't previously privy to, then maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it sounds like Fury's going to crack open those files and we're going to find out something. Maybe we'll find out Captain Marvel is actually a cunt.
Well, I don't know. To me, it seems like I don't know if he's going to be directly involved in the story or if it's going to be him like sitting there looking at a file and then you're going to hear the story of how that particular file got made. So you're going to hear a story about Spider-Man or Captain America or Peggy Carter or Black Widow or Scarlet Witch or
And this is
Iron
how they're going
Man
to
or
squeak Namor in
whoever.
there.
Sure. I mean that would
Or cybernetic husky.
like that would be wild to see if they start I don't know if they would go outright and put the name or if they would put like I encountered something or someone and just give them like a title or something like that without giving away the name and then have that intertwine with the movies because I don't know, people have been saying that we're going to be seeing him for like the last 3 or 4 years, but I don't know, I'm still skeptical. Nope. Who cares about fucking Namor? Like people already don't care about Aquaman. They only care about him because you turned him into Jason Momoa and then he took his shirt off. So that's why people cared about Aquaman. That's the only fucking reason. And Namor is the cheap knockoff of Aquaman. Nobody gives a fuck about Namor.
No, Aquaman is the knockoff of Namor.
Oh, nobody
Bullshit.
knows with these comic characters, man.
Bullshit. Okay, hold on a second. I'm
Namor
going to
came
channel my inner
first.
geek here. Bullshit. Namor is a cheap little fucking petty knock. And I don't even fucking like Aquaman. I think he's got ridiculous powers that only looked cool in the Aquaman movie. Like, besides that, I was like, fucking fish, really? This is the dude's power? He's fucking useless on you. That's a rant for another day. But anyways, no, that is bullshit. Aquaman was way before Namor. Aquaman was the original fucking Justice League and Friends.
Yes, I know.
Well,
Aquaman was in the Super Friends that I watched when I was a little kid because it was one of the only cartoons that I could
got
watch
it
with my
up. I
dad.
get it. Namor came out April 1939. Aquaman came out in November of 1941.
Boom. You just been bitten.
Bullshit. I heard this one, and supposedly someone from Marvel ripped off the idea for Namor from someone from DC because they had fucking
those
drafted
people at
Aquaman
DC
first.
need to learn how to color faster.
I can't help. They like to
2
have
years.
quality villains and heroes. They like to take their time and make
Quality?
compelling
We're
stories.
talking about fucking Aquaman.
All right, I'm really trying hard to defend Aquaman here. I know.
Both sides steal shit from each other all the time, and several of them are coincidences, or
Constantly.
it's because this person was working for Marvel and then they went to DC.
Right.
And they just wrote the same character but in a different color, maybe, in a different name. This is
the ultimate
this
Mortal Kombat. How can we add
shit's-
another character?
I'm not making this shit
we'll
up.
take that yellow guy and we'll make him green.
The same guy who made the character of Darkseid created the Celestials, and there's a little more fuck up there. He was in Marvel, they fired him, DC hired him, he created the characters, and Marvel rehired him, he left, the characters were abandoned, DC didn't know what the fuck to do with him. So then they're like, oh, we'll make Darkseid the Overlord, and then he went off, made the Celestials for Marvel.
Timon Flip said, it took 2 years to color a guy orange and green. Yeah, because it took that long for them to come up with those two fucking colors.
Oh man.
Sad.
Jamie Vick said the only reason why people care about Aquaman is because of what's going on between Johnny Depp and his ex. No, it made
What?
it made $1 billion. Jamie, I'd have to disagree. It made $1 billion. I would go more with they cared about Jason Momoa in no shirt, and you know Johnny's ex just happened to be
I mean,
really hot.
Okay,
I was
Trey
hoping.
Courtney said Deadpool is a blatant ripoff, but he still loves the character. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't see Deadpool as 100% a ripoff and more of a parody of Deathstroke.
Yeah,
Because
I
he's like
mean,
the complete polar opposite.
he's an inspired character, 100%.
Yeah, and I like them both equally.
Well, I mean, let's
So
look at it this way: there's only so many powers.
yeah, that's true.
Like at some point, there's going to be so many people out there, especially when you got like the X-Men and you're like, now we got to create a whole team instead of just one or two people for the comic book. And you're like, hey, you get a power, you get a power, you get a power. We're going to give
Take a
you
shot
two
for
power.
everyone that
You're
can
special.
fly. Take a shot for everyone that can fly. It doesn't matter if they create a technology that allow them to fly or if they can just fly. Take that shot.
Professor X can fly.
Freaking Magneto can fly. It was hovering.
Magneto
No, he fly.
totally
If
flies,
your feet
100% it
come off the
counts.
ground, it counts as
Dude, it
feet come off the
counts.
ground.
It
Yeah,
counts,
I know.
man. 100%.
Yeah, 100% counts. Hulk
Like,
jumps,
okay,
so
now-
he doesn't count.
The Hulk, he just jumps really high. That don't count.
Jamie Vick says, my thought is you see one Samoan and you've seen them all.
Samoan?
Yeah.
Is that like a shot at The Rock?
Yeah.
I don't like that. And I'm an Undertaker fan.
So, yeah, so let's swing it back to the point. Fury Files. Chad, what do you think of it? And let me get your thoughts. Husky, what do you think about mixing live action comics, or not live action, comics and animation together to bring about these files and learning different things and maybe tying them into the movie somehow?
You're going to confuse the dumb people.
Yeah, but we got a big enough Democrat.
How the fuck do you...
Democrat.
So what? One scene is going to be like a regular style cartoon, and the next scene you're going to be looking at a panel?
Well, I'm gathering when he opens his file, they'll do something, because they've done it before in other shows where it'll look like comic bookish. You know what I mean?
Oh, so it'll have like a intro, outro comic book vibe, and then once you're in it, you'll just be having like the regular cartoon. Okay.
Which
I'm
I
okay
think
with
is,
that.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
like having a hook per se, that's fine. But if they were doing like this jumping back and forth, I feel like that would have got annoying. I couldn't handle that. Like if it was even like if this was a show on like Disney XD or something, and they were going to commercial, and they were turning pages and they were going in and out for every commercial, I'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I've seen some shows like that. I gotta admit, it does get jarring, that kind of styles. But I do like the idea. Like, one thing I give
The
Marvel
only one
credit
that
for,
does it right is Princess Bride.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But I think that I respect them trying new things, and Bold, they mentioned that it will connect to Phase 4, so that'll be interesting to see. Maybe they'll do something on Taskmaster before we get Black Widow. Like they'll have a little file on him or something. Seeing as to this is coming out next week.
I feel like you got a better chance of it dealing with characters that you had already seen in the cartoons already. So you got a better chance of seeing the Sinister Six than you have of that happening, considering that he's going to be the villain or she, whatever, woke warriors.
You guys realize that we're now gonna probably have somebody else playing Dr. Octopus because he leads the Sinister Six?
Why do they gotta get somebody else? Isn't that guy still alive?
I know it's still alive, but they probably will, and then they'll try to play it off. But if they do get the same guy, it'll be awesome. Just like they made sure to get the correct guy for Mr. Jameson.
Yeah, I know, man.
Man.
was so glad.
That's when I freaked out in that movie.
Nobody fucking spoiled that for me. Oh man, that was great. I did not see that shit coming.
Yeah, I was like, they could totally get him because he's still alive, but I never thought like they'd actually do it. So that's why Marvel still has my trust until they do something completely fucking stupid.
Dude, when I seen Spider-Man in the theater, because you gave me those $1 tickets when you were still working at the theater, right?
Yep.
So we went and saw the movie, and then I'm sitting there, and it gets to the end of the movie, it gets a post-credit scene, and boom, he pops up, and I just start freaking out, and Andrea's just sitting there like, what? And I was like, oh my God, it's fucking him! She's like, what do you mean it's fucking him? I was like, it's him! Like, I couldn't get my words. I was like, it's him. That's him. She's like, what do you mean that's him? I was like, that's J. Jonah Jameson. She's like, yeah, I know it's J. Jonah Jameson. I was like, no, that from Spider-Man. She's like, this is Spider-Man. I was like, fucking A, man, this is not working.
So I think we could all agree we're all super excited. I want to get to something that Trey Courtney's going to like, my buddy in arms and Mr. Perp. Perp, get your ass in here. Why the fuck are you trolling us in the comment?
I know. This son of a bitch, fucking Perp, he's spying on us for like the last, I don't know, how long we've been going? 52 minutes? He wasn't here at the very beginning, but he'd been watching for like at least half an hour or something like that. What the hell, man? Like, we're not going to acknowledge your comments just like mine don't get acknowledged until I show up. Continue.
So, for the horror fans, I want to give a little context before I go into this article. There was a movie.
Whoa. People who are fans of whores? What?
There's a lot of fans of horrors, but no, horror. There was a movie.
That's right. You're from New York.
Yeah. Next to the car. Anyways, there were, we're gonna go to a bar. There was a movie that most people don't accredit to changing the landscape of horror at the time, and I recently watched it again, and I didn't realize how this movie affected the horror genre and changed the way that horror movies were portrayed, and it was so self-aware of the tropes that existed at the time, and it flipped them and turned them on their head, and it was a very defining franchise. Granted, the third one I could take or leave, the fourth one was just kind of but the horror franchise Scream is going to be returning. Scream not PB Scream, although that is horrifying.
Are they just trying to reboot all these like horror movie things, and then like in a few years we're gonna have like a horror movie monster like battle royale or something?
I'd be down for that, but anyway, Scream is a franchise that I feel can actually be rebooted and should be rebooted, especially considering the person they're getting, because I'm not gonna lie, I have had
your
a massive
opinion, or are you reading this off the top of the article?
No, this is all my opinion right now, but my one of my loves, Nev Campbell, has been in this franchise. She knows a lot
Oh my
about it.
god.
Yeah, I've seen everything with her in it. Wild Things, mwah, perfection. Her
Jesus
and
Christ.
what's her face fucking kissing in the pool. I that changed my life
God.
as as a youngin. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck the rest of that movie was about. But that one scene I will
Relax,
remember for the rest of my
Kryptonian.
life. Your Earth gets it right sometimes. So let's read this article. This is just some pretty great news. I haven't been excited. You guys can check out this article on actually Entertainment's Canada version because apparently she fled there for Corona. But
The
there's an
fuck goes
actual,
there?
I don't know.
Oh, I know who goes to Canada. You know who flees to Canada?
Yeah,
Royal.
I don't want to call. I've had enough interactions with that person for a fucking decade, but
Who?
Nev Cam. What?
I said the Royals. You ain't ever interacted with Harry or Meghan. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you meant Canadian animals.
Oh my god.
So, although a villain does get around and meet your royal families. So Nev
Sure.
Campbell is in talks to return to Scream for another scary addition to the 1996 horror hits and its trio of sequels. The 46-year-old actress who doesn't look a day over 25, my God, spoke to Entertainment Canadians. What the fuck is that? Some Canadian ass word. And revealed that she has been in discussions about being a part of the upcoming Scream. They've come back to me and we're having a conversation. Hopefully we can see eye to eye. I think they've got something good there. It's hard to consider doing without Wes Craven, rest in peace. The master of horror. Funny you should bring up Nightmare on
He
Elm
better
Street
not
because
be
he created
resting
it.
in peace. He better be haunting the ever living shit out of somewhere.
She said it. Craven, who directed all 4 Scream movies, passed away in 2015. But we'll see.
Was that why all
added
those
Campbell.
movies just stopped suddenly? I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah, that
starting
was.
to pump them out left and right. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get like choked up, but George Romero and Wes Craven passing hit a Kryptonian hard. Rest in peace. True horror masters. Who knows when we can see when we can even get back to work. I don't think anyone knows how to have negotiations right now. However, fans may not need to wait long to see Campbell and her Scream co-stars together. According to Campbell, co-star Matthew Leonard actually reached out to me yesterday with a charity that would like to get the screencast together. Why not? It's for charity. I think we'll do it. I don't see why not. Asked if she is excited about the possibility of a Zoom reunion, Campbell responded, "Yeah, I do see the cast once in a while because we do signing conventions sometimes. So we see each other, which is a treat. So we definitely stayed in touch." So I'm super excited about this. Um, I like the idea of them rebooting the franchise. I was not particularly thrilled with the 4th movie. I got what they were trying to do with it, but it was a lot of different shit going on. I'd like to see,
You
see
know
them
you
do it right.
love Dewey. Don't fucking lie.
Oh, Dewey's the man. I should do a movie on the evolution of Dewey, but
Dude, Dewey is the Trevor of Scream for all you MCU fans.
he totally,
There
totally
you
is.
go. There you go.
He's Trevor with a badge. Oh man. But yeah, I
I
mean,
panicked,
so
but then I handled it.
so I mean, what do you guys think about a classic franchise returning, a classic horror franchise, a real trendsetter? This movie literally had so many things quote in it. It pointed out so many flaws within horror movies as they played out. One of my favorite scenes was from Scream 1, where the guy, the video store guy, breaks down
Gets
how,
killed.
yeah, no, he doesn't get killed until like 2, but he breaks down,
Oh,
like in a horror movie, how you never say, "I'll be right back." And then what's his face goes, "Yeah, I'm going to get a beer. I'll be right back." And everyone starts laughing. I mean, I don't know why. It's just like the way they did that whole movie. And it's really weird seeing like the way the 90s were. It was it was some good shit. So
I
I'm
don't
super
remember
excited.
the last time I watched Scream. It's been a long time. I know that I enjoyed all of them to an extent. They definitely don't get better as they go along, but I do love the Dewey twist at the end. It's fucking spectacular.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a landmark thing. I really appreciate it. It is rough not having Wes Craven, because he really was a big contributor to the story. I get nervous when they put different directors, but from what I heard, part of the deal that Nev Campbell's trying to work out is she wants to be a part of the directing process, which I think is a smart move. She's been in this franchise
I mean,
forever.
there's
It's
two
not,
ways to reboot a horror movie. There is the Halloween way, and then there's a Nightmare on Elm Street way.
and the Halloween way clearly worked. You know, the Nightmare on Elm
Wait,
Street. A
which
lot
way
of
are you
people,
saying the Nightmare on Elm Street way is?
The
The new
one,
Nightmare?
yeah, the one that did not have Robert Englund as Freddy.
The one that was not a nightmare at all and was an actual nightmare of a movie? And I was like, what is this?
Me and my brother skimmed through that shit. I told my dad that they basically burned him because he's what we got of is probably a pedophile. My dad's like, no, they burned him because he's a bastard son.
I mean, that would like just having some other tall guy play the Undertaker. That's not how it works. Robert
No.
Englund is Freddy. Anybody else that tries to play that, no, that's not how this works.
and don't get me wrong, the guy who plays Rorschach, who did Freddy, I don't think he did a bad job. I just think he had a
Whatever.
ridiculous pair of shoes to fill. I'm sorry, I love Rorschach, and I love how he does that voice, and I liked how he tried to put his own spin on the character.
Well, here,
It's just
let me give you this future scenario. When Kevin Conroy dies, so does animated Batman.
fair enough.
I will not
I
listen to any other voice as animated Batman ever.
Oh,
It's
so
but
you
not
don't
let's
even
get
like
happening.
Adam
Nobody
West.
else is Bruce Wayne.
you know what the irony of your statement is that he did die from Kate Kane. Just think about that for a second.
What are you talking about?
Kevin Conroy came back in Infinite Crisis and was killed by that
Oh, you're
cunt Kate
talking
Kane.
about in the okay, in the live
Yeah,
action.
just think
Okay.
about how ironic that whole scenario is, because at that moment I lost all credibility for Batwoman, and I've been following that shit show, which CW.
Oh man, dude, it's my favorite Sunday night comedy.
that that's
You're
true.
watching it wrong. People are watching it wrong. You gotta enjoy it as a comedy. Even though the last episode did start right, she just started by whooping some people's ass at the beginning, which, you're Batwoman. Do more of that.
Yeah, less talking. I like how Jamie Vick put it. She said, "Scream to me seemed like a take on the real horror movies that came before." Yeah, it was almost. It started almost as
Interesting.
when you see the first movie, it's like a fan, uh, taking those horror movies to the extreme and acting them out in real life and almost mocking the way the people act in horror movies. Because what do? They fucking run. They run in the wrong direction, or,
For some reason, the goddamn car doesn't start up and they can't leave.
yep.
Seriously, that's the first case scenario. Oh, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to get the fuck out of there, right?
I love what Earth
Yeah, but you
says.
got 4 legs.
Yeah, you run fast, you prick. I love what Earth says. He says, we can't get too attached to actors. They're just vessels for the characters. You can't be dropping heavy shit like that here on the channel. We try not to get that philosophical.
I mean, Adam West is Batman.
Like, Earth is making me fucking think tonight. I'm like, damn, man, they're just vessels for these characters. Oh my god!
Did I summon Earth? Did I summon Earth by eating the dirt?
Maybe, Husky.
Oh my god, that video. My god, man.
So,
I watched it like 3 times.
So, all I got to say is we want to see this. I know Trey wants to see this. Trey, I'm with you. Check out my review when it comes out because I'm going to review the shit out of this and hopefully it will be past Corona. But
I think that I've realized that I'm not necessarily anti-remake when it comes to horror movies, but it can't just be a remake. Like you can't do what they did with The Lion King, where you're just taking the scene shot for shot and just creating it with a different art style.
And then adding some extra bullshit for some reason to make it longer.
Bullshit. Right, just to make it a little longer to be like, yeah, it's new. Yeah, it's not fucking new. So, like when the new Halloween came out, I was like, yeah, I'll check it out because it's a new story. Like it's the same character, but it was a completely new story. To me, I feel like that's almost okay. Like if they're gonna take, like when I was talking about the animated Robin Hood remake, if they're just gonna take that and take these anthropomorphic animals and turn it into fucking cats, so it's goddamn terrifying.
Oh
so
god!
Nobody wants to see this fucking trash, and they're like, "Yeah, we put it on Disney Plus. We knew nobody was gonna watch it, but we had to pay some people and burn some cash somewhere." So we made this thing and we're trying to spoil your fucking childhood. Why? Why? I don't think remaking horror movies, if you're going to kill people in new ways in the movie, like if you just redo the scene from Scream 1 in this movie, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
because if you pick any one scene and you do it shot for shot, that's fucking stupid. You can take something that's inspired by it and you got to take your own twist on it. But if it's shot for shot, that's fucking terrible, and I'm not on board with that shit.
Plus, you can't get young Drew Barrymore anymore, so they couldn't redo that shot effectively.
What do you mean they got barf technology? I've seen Civil War.
I don't care. I would recognize my OG Drew over like facelift Drew.
Talking like E.T. Drew Barrymore? That's young Drew Barrymore.
No. I'm talking like she grew up, did some drugs, and got a little bit looser.
Oh, you're talking the Drew Barrymore that you got a shot with because she's strung out on drugs. Gotcha.
but yeah. So we're all excited about this. This would be great.
Yeah, I
It,
mean, I'm always at least like, no matter what it is, fuck, it could be fucking sci-fi original. I'm always at least halfway excited for fucking horror movies. Like, I like seeing people fucking get murdered in a fucking completely fantastical way that I've never thought of before in my entire life, and then I can laugh about it because I know it's fake. Like,
Trey
I've never
Courtney,
seen any of this stuff become a real before.
Trey Courtney, man, I was going by their words. They're saying rebooted. I think as in, not how I worded
Everyone
it.
says
I
like
think they're
rebooted or remake these days when sometimes it's just like, oh, may or like remaster, or it's like, or when it's
Right.
just maybe
People,
like
they get all of these terms fucking confused, and it's so
like
goddamn
the
annoying
Halo
because they'll
Reach,
call it a reboot and
um
it's just a continuation of the story.
like the Halo, like for gaming, Halo Reach, when they're putting on an MCC, the Master Chief Collection, they kept saying, oh, it's a remaster. I'm like, no, it's not a remaster. They're just gonna smooth the edges and make it look HD. That's not a remaster. A remaster is you take the game and you freaking edit it to make it look better. Which is, what
Yeah, you gotta
freaking
you gotta pull everything down, do the textures. Um, I know that there's some minor. I don't know exactly what you gotta do to change the controls so that they're a little more tight. Like, those things can be done when you remaster a game. There's a difference between remastering and polishing.
yeah. But I think people
so
always use those words because I get that. That's what gets people to click.
we're going to
Ah,
Yeah.
we're
What are you going to
we're
click?
going
Oh,
to
polished game, polished movie, or get like a little sequel, or are you going to click the reboot button? Because you're going to be like, what the fuck? Why are they rebooting my favorite?
that's true.
the
That's
rage
true.
click. Absolutely true. But we're gonna switch gears here and talk about something that we're all
You
happy to talk
shifting
about,
up or
especially
down?
TV. Uh, we're going to Star Wars.
Oh, so I get to, that means what? I get to like shift up into fourth, fifth. What am I driving here? Sixth gear?
You
Like,
might go
what? Am I going to fucking warp speed, motherfuckers?
warp speed. It is because being that we have official casting for Ahsoka, there's been a question: what happened to Sabine? Which is one of my favorite characters from Rebels,
Rape.
and so so
She got
when
stabbed
we
by the dark saber from, I forget that guy at the end.
so
Moff
no, that's not
Gideon.
no. So last we left at the very end of Rebels, there was a little scene where Ahsoka and Sabine were traveling to search for Ezra because he got lost in the fuck all portal, I call
They're
it.
trying to find the space squid.
Fuck. And so this raises an interesting question because the time jump in Rebels was exactly where Return of the Jedi ends. So that's the segue for Ahsoka. But the billion-dollar question is, if Ahsoka and Sabine were traveling together, what happened to Sabine? And Dave Filoni addresses this in a short little clip from comicbookmovie.com that says Star Wars Dave Filoni teases plans to address Sabine's fate following the Return of the Jedi. At the end of Star Wars Rebels, we saw Sabine and Ahsoka continuing their search for Ezra. Now, showrunner Dave Filoni has addressed the possibility of the character's story continuing. In the closing few minutes of Star Wars Rebels, we jumped ahead to beyond the events of Return of the Jedi to learn Ahsoka Tano and Sabine were searching for Ezra Bridger. Then we're bound to get some sort of acknowledgement of where and when a Tano shows up in The Mandalorian. But what about Sabine? Given her history with Mandalore, common sense says she would cross paths with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. But we all know so far that Rosario Dawson is playing live action Ahsoka. During a recent interview with Deadline, showrunner Dave Filoni was asked to share his thoughts on the possibility of Sabine's story continuing. Oh, I think it's possible, he teased. I mean, it's definitely something that I left hanging at the end, and part of the reason is just it's always nice to keep it
Hanging
in
like a
mind.
Chad in Florida.
It's always nice to keep
Boba
in
Fett
mind
kills her.
That's a political joke for you, Cyber.
when there's another story. I like things in a series, even when I read or watch them, and there's a little bit of sadness. When something does come to an end, so the potential is a great thing. I love that people are thinking about these stories in the same way I wondered about many stories. As a kid, I wondered what happened to Luke after Return of the Jedi and all my heroes. I think it's a natural part of enjoying this. And I think there's always potential for further stories. Certainly, I will say it's something I've given a decent amount of thought to. So you never know, or if it will actually happen at all. There's something to say this will happen in the Mandalorian season 2, but it seems like a logical place to continue the character's story. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But Filoni is definitely someone with his finger on the pulse for all things Star Wars, so we can trust him to do all of these characters justice. And I
No,
fucking agree.
Dave ruins everything. He ruined every character from the EU. He turned Thrawn into a bitch. He changed Star Wars worse than anybody ever could. He is 10 times worse than Rian Johnson. God, people like that sound ridiculous.
Yeah, and sidetracking a bit, I want to just address this. Rian Johnson broke a fucking trilogy. There is no
No.
one I could think of that
Rian
has.
Johnson broke fucking hyperspace.
He broke hyperspace. He broke the trilogy. He broke Luke.
Dude, remember when the fucking particle beams, what the fuck, the cannons were fucking arcing in space?
Yeah.
Because there's gravity for that. Oh wait, no, because Newton's fucking law doesn't apply. So,
See, Dave Filoni fuck shit up like that.
And the funniest part is we get to the last season of Clone Wars, the last episode, and what was the responses we got in that panel? People were fucking crying, emotionally distraught from the last scenes of that episode. But Dave Filoni has lost his touch. Go fuck yourself. I mean, I'm not saying I support the man.
The only people that say Dave Filoni lost his touch are the people that don't believe that Dave Filoni ever had any touch, even though he was literally handpicked by George to be the guy. Like,
The guy.
not all of these fucking weirdos that wrote these books that George was like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll take some money. Like, sure, as long as it doesn't fuck my characters up, you can do what you want. No, that's not what Dave Filoni is. He's like, hey, I'm going to bring this guy in, and he's going to work side by side with me, and we're going to expand my story.
Also remember, in 2005, George Lucas announced he was making what would be the 2008 Clone Wars. There's people posting on that on May the 4th. I'm like, huh. So that's when they thought, oh wait, what else came out? Oh, Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, so they already had a plan to rewrite the cartoons they had, the little cartoons. People
Yeah.
get pissy
Yeah.
about that. I'm like, I like both of them. Both of them are great. I have the 2 cartoon volumes. I enjoy them. Both are great. But people get pissy. It's like, no, they should have never. I'm like, no, he had a fucking plan to rewrite it. And here's another
Dude,
thing
you
I'm going to
could.
say: when Zod has his fucking beard, he looks like fucking Dave Filoni with a beard and the hat. He does. I'm not fucking shitting you, people. He's clean shaven now, but if he gets a little bit of that beard back, he looks almost exactly like Dave fucking
Need to get
Filoni.
rid of his fucking pedophile stash.
Yeah, I was just like I was thinking about when I was going live if I was gonna cut it, but then the girl was like, "Nah, you can't get close if you don't." So sometimes in life, you have to shave.
Yeah, hopefully
What up?
Terrence is still alive.
What up, Nico? Yeah, I mean,
What's up, Nico? We're getting star woke up in here.
you know, it's so funny that we saw so much hate and then look at the normal perpetrators and not one person Ryan Kennel, I'm talking to you. Not one not one person had a negative thing. And I love how they try to backtrack and go, well, most of the arc was stupid, but they did an all right job at the end. No,
Most of it,
you
no.
can't be that
Okay,
guy.
let's look at here's a little preview of Sunday. If you look at the entire season as a movie, the second act was weak. The first act was real fucking good, and the third act was fucking great to epic.
Yeah.
So disappointing second act, and I fucking stopped after the first episode in the second act, not because I chose to, is because I haven't had the time. That's when I started streaming. I haven't gotten the time to sit down and fucking watch them. And that's the reason why I
Well,
fell behind this season. And I was hyped for this season. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to watch all these, and I decided to stream. Just been falling behind.
well, that's understandable that happens, but I mean, it's
Yeah, but then he had to stream about Xbox. Ugh.
The only reply, the best console company's fucking Nintendo, because they've yet to let me down. I'm not kidding with that one.
So okay, we're gonna jump off of that horrible hypothesis. There is one more article, and it's one everyone's been talking about, and I heard the chat talking about. So we're gonna address this right now. This comes to us from Entertainment Weekly, and it's been confirmed also by several different sources. So I use air quote reputable sources. The
Use that grain of
Mandalorian.
salt, motherfuckers.
The Mandalorian cast, I can't ever say his first name. Temar Morrison? It's the fucking guy who played Jango
Tamara
Fett.
Morrison.
Thank you.
I believe
that
that
guy.
He's going to play Boba Fett in The Mandalorian. And I am super fucking...
Whoa. You're telling me Boba Fett is gonna be in season 2 of The Mandalorian?
Fuck yeah.
So does that mean that it's confirmed that those were his boots in, what was that, episode 6?
That would be we all speculated. And didn't I say, PB, think about that? Think about when we all talked about it. What did I say? I said, those were his boots. I said, I would lay money down that was him. And everyone's like, no. And I said, we were either going that way or Cad Bane. Unfortunately, we're not seeing Cad Bane yet. But yeah.
Based on that
unfinished
Clone Wars episode with him and Boba Fett dueling.
Oh my god! I take a live action of that.
They
Holy
never.
fuck.
I mean, that would be cool to see, but based on that, I'm like, is Cad Bane dead? And I was hoping
Never.
that would be one of the completed episodes of this season, and that's
No,
why
I'd rather
that.
they leave it open or they show it live action. Like,
But
that's his
that's the other
introduction.
thing. There's
Holy
there's
fuck.
still so much of the uncompleted work, and they pulled them all down that I know wasn't shown this season. And I'm like, then I believe it was Eckhart's Ladder said there could be a possible future seasons of this. I'm like, I could see it, or not even called like Clone Wars. It'd be like maybe the Bounty Hunter stories or something. Dive into more of the other side stories, because I actually wouldn't mind a story of young Boba Fett, like a mini series or just a series of young Boba Fett
About
with all
how
the
he
bounty
walks
hunters.
around with his father's skull.
Yeah. I actually just say, how he became the Mandalorian, the elite Mandalorian that he's
So
supposed to be.
let's jump into this article because it starts out referencing that episode
How
as the
about
jump
you
off.
jump into the article and I'll wait in the wings to criticize you?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like our dynamic. The return of the character was teased in the first season of the Star Wars drama series when a pair of black boots with a familiar sounding jingle entered the frame at the end of one of the episodes.
Fuck, I didn't hear the jingle.
Boba Fett seemingly died in 1983's Return of the Jedi when he fell in the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine. As the
Don't
Mandalorian takes
die in something that takes 10,000 years to digest.
years to get
I
you.
told people that so much, like even the Legends ones. I'm like, well, even if that's not, when Disney had it, I'm like, if that's not canon anymore, the Sarlacc takes like 10,000 years to digest, and Boba Fett has life support systems on his armor.
But not to
Yes.
mention that Sarlacc's probably going to eat some stuff that he can kill.
As the Mandalorian takes place after the events of the original trilogy, the Mandalorian will presumably have to explain how he's still alive. Previously, the Mandalorian director named Filoni similarly resurrected Darth Maul, who seemingly was killed in The Phantom Menace for his animated series Clone Wars, as reportedly cast in season 2, but like this casting report not yet verified by Disney are Michael Biehn and Rosario Dawson, fan favorite Ahsoka Tano, directors for the upcoming season. Huh?
Ahsoka Tano.
Tano, geez, Tano, Patano. The season did confirm, and this is what I'm really fucking excited about. Robert Rodriguez is set to be one of the guest directors. Fucking yay! I love Robert Rodriguez. I'm super excited
Robert
about
Rodriguez. What did he do?
He did Alita Battle Angel. He's done stuff with Quentin Tarantino. Like he did the 2-part Grindhouse. He did Machete. He's done Desperado.
I've seen Desperado.
Oh yeah, he like the fact that they got him to sign on to that. Also, Peyton Reed, who did Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, is also going to be one of the guest directors. So,
okay.
Holy fuck, man. Like, the directing staff is stacked this year. Like, if you thought they had, like, an A to B game last year, their shit went up to A to A++.
It all... with me, it still comes down to consistency. Like, if some episode seems like it sticks out, and I was like, why don't this episode seems like it meshes with the one before? And it's because some fucking one of the directors, not actors, did something fucking weird because they got their own style, so they make all of the characters seem a little off or act a little unusual. It's not going to be good. Just because it's got good action doesn't mean it has good character development. if they don't know how to treat the character properly.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Like I'm still excited. Like with what you listed off there, like I like more than half of that. Like I don't know, a fair bit. I love Ant-Man. It's got some good action scenes. It's got appropriate comedy where it needs it, because everybody would say that it's way too funny for a superhero movie. And I was like, dude, it's Ant-Man. Like, what are we talking about here? This isn't the Winter Soldier. It's not that movie. It's not Civil War either. Like, okay, I get what you're
I
saying,
think
but it's not that kind of movie. So yeah,
I
I'm
think if
excited
you
for it, but
tried
I
to
could
make
stay
Ant-Man,
skeptical.
I think if you tried to make Ant-Man serious, it hurts that movie because it's fucking Ant-Man. Like, when you really think of the concept of that character, even in comics, it wasn't a very popular selling comic book. For that reason, like, a lot of people couldn't get on board with that. And I think Marvel actually did a smart thing by making it a comedy and making it sort of self-aware of how ridiculous the concept is, made people accept it. And they put a bit of an emotional hook on it. Because I'll tell you, the biggest thing for me in that movie, and why I like that movie in particular, I'd rate it pretty high on my list, is because of the fact that I'm a single father, and that whole storyline, and he has a daughter too, that hits me personally. And I felt like that was a very smart way to go, because people can identify with making a mistake, fucking up,
Oh, so
losing
that's why
everything.
you don't like Ant-Man and the Wasp, because he gets with the woman and then he's not a single father anymore.
No, I don't like Ant-Man and the Wasp just because there was a lot of
Because you don't like
stuff.
Evangeline Lilly.
Oh,
Terrible.
you're fucking crazy.
I know.
That she's the yeah.
She's the best part about both movies.
I yeah, I
Hot take right
very
there.
narrowly for the first one. I was in it for the emotion, but in the second one, like, whew, and she, oh. Anyways,
That's how
I
you
want to get
punch.
to I want to get to Generation Productions question, because he had a very good one that a lot of people have asked me, and I hate to be that EU guy, but yes, I'm gonna go this route. Um, in the story of Boba Fett, there is a book, and it's also referenced in Shadow of the Empire, where he was in the Sarlacc pit and he cut his way out of the creature. When he got hit and his jetpack malfunctioned, the other equipment he had still worked. So
Yeah,
he
he still had his
essentially,
But he just
flamethrowers on his
sprung a leak.
wrist.
yeah, he he
There's a
essentially,
picture in a book that shows him. He's like burning the thing while it's trying to grab him, pull him back in.
yeah,
It's a great artist depiction. It's great.
yeah, he climbed up a bunch of dead bodies and climbed his way out, and in mid climb got attacked by the creature again and burned the shit out of it. Then he walked through the deserts of Tatooine until he came across fucking Mos Eisley, which they had to take a sand dune thing to get to this place. So he's a pretty long fucking ways away from civilization. He walked through fucking scorching heat, took off all of his fucking armor and was carrying it at that point. Found
He
someone.
walked the
I
entire
think it was
way.
Dengar.
He didn't rob any
He
sand
found
people.
Dengar.
They're murky about that part, but I'm pretty sure he killed some
Oh,
sand
he
people.
totally robbed some sand people.
So yeah, he totally robbed some sand people. And what up, homeless Tony? Good to see you here on the channel.
Hey, Tony, I'm glad you were able to find a Wi-Fi signal from your box.
And you have a home here in the fandom zone.
It's just an internet home. It's not a home that will protect you from the snow.
Timon Flip says, at Pop Culture PB, didn't Lucasfilm made EU not canon? No, Disney did that.
The EU was never canon in relation to the movies. The only thing that ever was the Clone Wars TV show. You can ask George himself. I mean, if he'll take your phone call, but there's quotes out there that will answer the same question. But to answer that specific question, Disney, when they bought Lucasfilm, so it was still Lucasfilm, made everything besides the Clone Wars not canon and then have re-canonized certain characters and certain stories how they see fit and how they want to integrate it into their story because they want to make money, allegedly.
And here's the thing, Disney did canonize the Shadow of the Empire because it's part of the video game leg of things. So there's
Yeah,
a
any video
book
games that are
on the
made now,
video
because
game.
that's how Disney's been doing it. Everything is connected and it's on the
So
same tier, unlike the stupid EU that's like, you know what? This comic book is slightly different than the video game, and comic books are more important than video games. So your video game story is not canon. So get the fuck out of here.
Or I'd love us to get to the status where we could actually get George and talk to him about like the whole EU, the Clone Wars, his actual,
oh my God,
plan with
how
both
many
of these Clone
viewers
Wars.
and how many people would be pissed if we proved the wrong? That would be a glorious day. I would love that. I
I
don't even
mean,
think I'd be able to talk.
you can prove it with he says it out loud. He's like, I'm gonna get excoriated for this. I'll remember the exact fucking quote. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, that EU, that's an alternate universe from my movie universe, but this TV show that I'm making with my Padawan Dave, that's connected to my movies. So watch my show and buy a toy.
That's pretty much
And,
how it
the-
went
and
down.
if and according according to Disney and stuff, the Legends EU, all the stories considering to them, maybe George, I don't remember what he said about it. So like Infinities, anything that was made for fun is all considered EU Legends. Whatever.
Yeah, it's all, and they could not write stories about certain characters. Like you couldn't tell any stories about Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader at all. He was off limits. So you tell me how the fuck you be in the same universe, but you can't involve the characters. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
I mean, the Vader in comics are kind of interesting to me, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I don't want to read them because his story as Anakin, but for me, the whole presence he has in the movies. Get me wrong, I love that even that scene in Rogue One. The whole presence he has in the movies is what the fuck happened to him in between episode 3 and now? You don't know. It's mystery. He's a fucking probably cold-blooded killer. What the fuck is he's just complete darkness, and then that mystery kind of adds to the character of Vader. What pain, suffering, torment has he gone through since he's gone in the suit? I mean, you see the setup for it in episode 3 of like, oh, this is it. This is what he is. But now he has to live with not having Padme and not knowing his kids are alive. And you see him there, and
you
you're
don't know
like, why does
Jack.
he act? He acts this shit. He kills people. He just kills his men. Well, yeah, he has like nothing to lose. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He don't give a shit. It goes his way or no way now. He don't give a fuck.
He
But
thought
that's
that he was enlightened, but he was actually put more in the dark.
yep. The
smokes.
only thing is the reason why is like It's this way. He goes this way. He doesn't think he has anything or anyone, and then he finds out his son's alive. And I still think in episode 5, in that fight, Luke, because some people try to argue like, oh, Luke was barely prepared too when he faced Vader, just like Rey. I'm like, but I think his father, now knowing that Luke is his son, did not really want to put up much of a fight against his son because he wanted his son to join him. He even wanted Obi-Wan to join him at the end of episode 3 because he still saw Obi-Wan as someone he could trust.
Yep. And Kelly was like, wait a second. You been banging my girl, bro?
So speaking of dark shit, I'm going to switch gears yet again. And we're going to hyperspeed out of the Star Wars universe and come into Earth and some fucked up shit. And get a little bit
from a galaxy far, far away. And now we're descending onto the apocalypse planet.
So, in the midst of all this bullshit that we got going on with Corona, we still have police fatally shooting people. Like,
what? There's people out
so,
there to be shooting?
And it was a black man who got shot. And, I wish Perp was here.
Yeah, what the fuck, Perp? Where are you? He left.
So I'm going to go to an article by the Washington Post, which is hilarious because they have under the Washington Post now, democracy dies in darkness. Fuck you, Washington Post. But anyways,
you know where that darkness is? It's in the shadow that's under Joe Biden's nose.
and all of the people he's touching. But anyways, so this is brought to us. This happened at 3:28 on the 7th of May 2020. Or that might be when he wrote the article. I got to see
That's when he wrote the article, guy.
But oh no, this happened on a Wednesday evening. So please come and get me. Indianapolis police fatally shot black man who reportedly live streamed the chase on Facebook. An Indianapolis man involved in a high-speed chase and foot race with police appeared to be live streaming the encounter on Facebook Live when an officer fatally shot him Wednesday evening. The shooting sparked demonstrations deep in the night, with family members and protesters seeking answers from police about the latest officer-involved shooting to be live-streamed 2000s. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department said officers were pursuing the man Wednesday because he was driving recklessly. After the driver exited his car, a police officer chased him on foot for a short distance, resulting in an exchange of gunfire around 6:15 p.m. Authorities said at least 13 to 14 shots were heard on the video. Holy fuck. I'm going to stop right here. Okay, now it sounds, and I got to keep on reading, but it sounds like there may have been return fire. But 14 fucking shots? Like, oh my god!
That sounds like the beginning of RoboCop.
Body?
Like,
is this the beginning of RoboCop? They fucking shoot the shit out of him.
And like, here's the thing: I'm a former military man. I worked with the MPs and things like that. I have respect for what the police do and their profession, but when shit like this goes down, there's some fault here that has to be laid on authoritative figures and over fucking using their trigger finger. Like, one shot, I promise you, one well-placed shot will put someone down. You ain't even got to shoot them in a fatal place.
Well-placed shot, but people are moving around all the time. You hear
2 or 3 shots if they're zigging and zagging.
People, I heard the story of the lady that barricaded herself all the way upstairs with her child, and she unloaded the revolver into this motherfucker in his chest. All 6 shots in his chest, and the guy drove away.
Holy fuck! No, there was someone watching out for that person because statistically, that should
That's
not
what
have
I'm
happened.
saying. Like, you know how many bullets I need to take down the guy who's trying to kill me, and or if I'm the policeman trying to kill other people or whatever, I need all of the bullets.
So let's continue and find out more about the situation. Police have yet to name the driver or the officer who shot him, acknowledging only both were black men. Family members of the victim identified him to local media outlets as Sean Reed, 21. Holy fuck, 21 years old. Authorities announced that the officer who shot the young man has been placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. I hope the fuck so. In tears near the scene of the incident was Jasmine Reed, who identified herself in a television interview as the victim's sister. She told Wish that her family had watched the pursuit on Facebook and heard the shooting happen in real time. She said she drove to the scene not knowing whether her brother had survived. I feel like to lose life, especially at a young age, there's never going to be justice, she said, because he's gone. There's never justice for that. If somebody was to get time or what for whatever, it's never going to be justice because he's never coming back. She added, I shouldn't have to bury my little brother. The pursuit started at 6 p.m. Wednesday when Indianapolis Police Chief Randall Taylor and Deputy Chief Kendall Adams first noticed a gray Toyota Corolla being driven recklessly on Interstate 65. According to the incident report obtained by the Washington Post, they still do journalism. Wow, I'm shocked. Police said the Indianapolis man was driving at a
Ish.
high, yeah, ish, driving at a high rate of speed and disobeying all traffic signals, and almost struck other vehicles while exiting the interstate. Chris Bailey, the police spokesman, told the reporters the man was driving at about 90 miles per hour. For the next few minutes, multiple police cars followed the man northwestern part of the city. According to the incident report, the shirtless man behind the wheel was live streaming the chase on Facebook, titling it "High Speed Chase." LOL. Well, that part I can't co-sign on. I don't understand that. In the latter part of the video, the man, later identified as Sean Reed, appeared nervously talking to nearly 4,000 people, holy fuck, tuning in to watch, explaining in exposés where he was begging for help. Somebody come and get my stupid ass, the man said. Please come and get me. Please come and get me. Please come and get me. The police caught up to the man as he pulled the vehicle behind the locksmith store near West 62nd Street and Michigan Road, an area featuring several churches and a school. Police said that after disregarding the officer's verbal commands to stop, the driver ran out of the car. On 62nd and Michigan, he said before exiting the vehicle, I just parked. I'm gone. He pleaded one last time, please come and get me. From there, the shaky video went dark as the man who seemingly lodged the phone in his waistband of his pants is heard sprinting and panting 30 seconds and chased by foot. A voice can be heard yelling, stop, stop, and the driver replying, fuck you. Initial evidence indicated that the officer confronted the man and deployed his taser, according to the incident report. There were only two people at the scene at the time, the police said. It is believed at the time the shots were fired by both officers and the suspect. That's when the man shrieked as if he was in pain and appeared to collapse on the ground. In the 8 seconds that followed, about 11 or 12 gunshots could be heard in succession. There was a brief pause before 2 more shots were heard. The phone continued to live stream, facing the blue sky, to the opening lyrics of rapper Young Dolphin's 16 Zips played on the device.
Don't know it.
I don't know it either. Indianapolis Emergency Medical Services arrived a short time later and pronounced the driver dead. At the scene, the officers were uninjured. Bailey said the investigation told WTHR that a gun was found near the victim that did not belong to the officer. After the recording of the video captured the conversation at the scene of the moment after the shooting, according to the Indianapolis Star. Looks like we're going to have closed casket, homie, said one of the men off camera. It's unclear whether the person who made the comment was a police officer. Wow. The Facebook Live video, which was widely shared throughout social media on Wednesday night, has since been removed from the man's personal account. Speaking to reporters Wednesday, Bailey said police were aware of the video. Both the officers and the detectives.
Hey, Jamie Vick said if it was a gunfire exchange, that means that both the police and the guy were shooting. And she said if it were me, I would shoot as many times as it would take to take the other person out.
Jamie Vick, I agree with you 100%.
Not if the two cops were in friendly fire and this guy was caught in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it was dark. Let's continue because this is getting pretty interesting. The Facebook Live video. Okay, I read that. Police said that the shooting was being investigated by the department and that a separate, independent internal investigation will be conducted to ensure that the officers followed departmental protocol. In the hours that followed the incident, 100 to 150 protesters, of course, came out to support the driver, chanting "Murder, murder," and "No justice, no peace" at the police scene. "We deserve better," one community activist told the Star. "I am disgusted and horrified, tired and angry. Go the fuck home then." Fighting through the tears, Sean Reed's family members remember him Wednesday as a graduate of Lawrence North High School who spent a year in the Air Force and was splitting time between Indianapolis, North Texas. His sister told the Washington Post that she would hold on to his smile and how much she loved him. She acknowledged that he was wrong getting caught up in a high-speed chase with police, but said she wondered why police couldn't have tased him or beat him up instead of taking his life. So
tasers weren't charged.
Yeah, here's the thing. There was gunfire exchanged. There was a gun found by his body that wasn't the officer's, which makes me inclined to think this was like shots fired in self-defense. And as far as protesters go, I never prescribed to this protesting bullshit. Now with coronavirus, they just have more of a reason to do this shit because there's nothing else for them to do.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the media will say about the protesters, because all of the protesters that have went out in spite of coronavirus to protest that they don't want to be held at home or keep the government shut down or keep these safer at home orders or whatever they have going on in their states. They don't want them going on because they're not going to be able to feed their families. Okay, but that's terrible for them to do, and they're a bunch of psychos and all this stuff. And I will guarantee you that everybody in the media says that it was perfectly appropriate for these people to assemble for this protest.
Oh yeah, I would 100% agree
Over the
with you
people
on that.
protesting for their jobs.
Yeah, over the people
No.
protesting for their jobs. You mean like over?
I misheard you. Sorry, I misheard you.
Yeah. Over. That's what
Jamie
these
Vick.
people
Yeah,
are
it's
protesting for.
ridiculous.
It's so because they can't pay the bills.
Yeah, which is far more important. But I like what Jamie Vick says here. So because he was a good guy, it doesn't matter he was in a high-speed chase or that he had a gun and that he used it to shoot the police. Yeah, Jamie Vick brings up some great points, and this is why I wanted to bring up this article because the police are always in this sticky situation. Now, I don't agree with I never agree with this shooting multiple times thing. Just because of my training, I feel like, especially when you have like 2 or 3 officers, you don't have to fucking
Your training?
unload.
Did you have a machine gun?
I had an M14. That's fair enough.
Fucking
They have a
guy.
9mm
Oh, these
Beretta
guys with
standard
their
issue. So.
semi-automatic 9mm, they're shooting multiple times. I didn't have to. I only pulled the trigger once. I unloaded the clip.
All right. The point is taken, but still, they're the way they're trained and stuff like that. It's still center mass. I mean, especially this guy wasn't wearing any armor or anything like that. You could do a good grouping, especially if they shoot him, slow him down, then you can pick your target. You know, you could put a person down without having to fucking unload. It shows the difference between, say, a veteran and, like, you know, a rookie who's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna unload the whole clip just to make sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Like not every police officer is built the same, and some are better at doing their job than others. And that's why there does have to be an investigation into that kind of stuff to see where people were standing, when shots were fired, stuff like that, to make sure proper protocols were followed. But when it comes to you defending your life, I'm typically going to side with the person who's like wearing the badge and out there to protect people than the person who was recklessly driving and then decided to run for his life and then randomly open fire.
Yeah, and here's the thing that gets me about this, where I'm so glad Jamie Vick brought up this point, because I was going to bring up the biggest thing is you're fucking these fucking protesters, you're protesting a guy who could have hit and killed your fucking family or somebody else who just happened to be driving down the street. You know, maybe they went to fucking pick up groceries a little bit later at night. I mean, actually, not even later. It was at 6 fucking o'clock at night, right? So you're driving back from the store, and this asshole may weave into your lane. You know, it's ridiculous that they're gonna glorify a fucking protest, and they do this all the time because it happens to be a police-involved shooting. Like the one we read about the lady who shot the guy, that was sketchy as fuck. But when you have a situation where someone's fucking Facebook
you mean the one
Live
where she busted into his apartment
and shot him, yes, that was sketchy as fuck. But when you have a guy who's Facebook living a police chase entitled "I'm in a police chase, LOL," you have to...
right? Like, pull over?
Oh, I'll see you
Like,
later,
what are you doing,
Timon.
you fucking idiot?
Jamie Vick says, I was married to a police officer and worked for the police department almost 10 years. So I know about the training and what they go through on a daily basis. And, that's true. Being a police officer,
Yes,
especially
one of the things well known on a daily basis and most people don't understand is you can hold about 10 about I'm just going to say you can hold 10 rounds in a gun. It depends on the gun, but you can only hold one round in a taser. And if you miss, you got to pull this stupid shit off. Maybe you have another one. You got to click it on there and shoot it again. Oh, no, it
yeah,
doesn't
by
have a
that
charge.
time,
Fuck, pull out the gun. Boom. Oh, I hate.
you know, people don't think about what, and here's the thing. Everyone is fucking quick to protest police officers, but I bet you if someone's robbing your fucking house and you dial 911, you are expecting them to get there on time, but yeah, you're gonna go out here and sit and protest someone who was sitting there in a fucking high-speed chase with a dumbass recording on fucking Facebook.
Oh man. All I'm picturing is somebody calling in, and then the cop is like, sorry, man, I couldn't get there before you got murder raped because I couldn't get through the police protest.
It's like and I know it's not ever going to happen, but I really just want to see a day where the police go tell people to fuck themselves for the day because of all this stupid bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, you want us to be here to protect and serve you, but yet every time we take an action to keep the fucking community safe, there's a fucking protest, and there's the Washington Post and all these cocksucking vultures writing these fucking hit pieces because we're not handled. Oh my God, we had to injure a suspect. Oh my God, we had to defend ourselves.
In my state, it's legal to hit the protesters if they're blocking off the highway. You can just drive right through them.
Good.
I'm not kidding. That happened
You're
like
doing one thing right there.
that happened back in was it? It was like 2017, 2018, like one of Dayton's last few years. And I saw that. I'm like, that's great. That's great news for everyone who needs to get to work.
It's like, bitch, I don't got time for your protest on Corona.
And it's great for the semi-truck drivers because they're not going to be able to stop for them. And if you get hit by them, you're going to explode.
I was on my way to deliver this pallet, and I hit a deer. It was wearing glasses. I don't feel bad.
Jamie Vick also writes, it's a split-second decision that could end up totally differently if you don't act quickly enough. Yeah, and here's the thing people don't put into perspective. The police officers are married. They have kids. They have families. Maybe they're younger and they're just coming out of the academy. They're just starting their life. I mean, these are people, too, who are in a dangerous situation and have quick time to react. Let me tell you something. The biggest thing when I was in the service and overseas,
He's gonna tell us something, guys. Are you listening? Listen closely.
When I was in the service, there was a whole big thing in the Afghan war, and a lot of my friends were fucked up about it, was that some of them had to shoot kids, and the media covered this as we were a bunch of fucking kid killers and we were this and that because we shot at kids. The part that they left out of their fucking stories were they didn't tell you about how the kids were strapped up with bomb vests from their fucking parents and set into a middle of a crowded market, and we had a split second to decide on whether we were going to shoot a kid and save a bunch of people.
You about how they were kid terrorists?
No, or they didn't tell you how a 15-year-old had a fucking AK-47 and pointed it at the middle of a convoy, and you have to choose, am I going to let my fellow soldiers die who also have families, or do I have to do what I have to do in order
No,
for us
you
to
gotta
all come
light
back
that
safe.
kid up, man.
Did these people watch The American Sniper? Because it said you could even tell he did not want to shoot kids. He didn't not like that, but he had to shoot the kid because the kid picked up the bomb, grenade, whatever, and was going to throw it towards the rest of his towards his brothers.
Yeah,
So he shot him.
and
He was
granted, the
even like
scenario.
staring at it. He's like, "Don't pick it up! Don't pick it up!" He picked it up and he shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Send them to fucking Allah.
and here's the thing. People don't understand in the civilian world, it's different because they don't get these scenarios on a regular basis you would get traveling to a foreign country. So when you're in a situation where you are there to protect and serve the community at large, and there is someone putting multiple people's lives in danger, and you have gone through the protocol, you've said stop, fucking cease and desist, don't run, go fuck myself. Okay, fine, I'll chase you. And they pull out that fucking gun. What are you gonna? When is it okay? When the fucking officer gets shot? Is that when we're gonna say it's fucking okay for them to draw their weapon? Is that the amount of time these fucking people are looking for when an officer is down?
Died.
Then they're like, oh, that was fine. I feel sorry for poor Officer Ricky. Fuck that. These fucking people sit back in their fucking little cubicles and they write these fucking asinine articles and they don't understand a fucking thing about the world and how it works because they're safe behind their fucking little desk and they're keyboard warriors and they can write these shitty fucking articles.
You have no idea how big my desk is.
But here's the thing. Most of these fucking journalists grow up in a box and then they go and they work in a box or cubicle, but I call them a box.
Cubicle.
It's a fucking box. So technically, all
about
journalists.
Box?
Oh, hold on.
Talking about homeless Tony's box.
All journalists are fucking cats, and cats are pieces of shit.
Tracks with your character.
That's a stupid bullshit conspiracy theory if people want to believe it, but I just had to do that.
No, cats are assholes.
Joke. Oh yeah,
straight up.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that pisses me off is that we always get protests for these people who are fucking scumbags doing scumbag things. Where's the protest?
You got two dislikes. You finally got two dislikes when we started talking about this shit. Yeah, none the one now you do.
But here's the thing. Where is the protest for the officers and the other people and the brave people who wind up getting shot doing their fucking job? There's not a protest for someone who's done their job for such and such years. Whoa, they get
whoa. What do you mean? How are you gonna protest for something?
So for instance, right? There's always a protest when one of these
are anti.
There's never a protest saying, "Oh my God, we need to stop shooting officers."
What you're saying is, where is the protest against the criminals?
Exactly. Thank you. That's why you're the commander.
It will never happen because people don't care about criminals that perpetrate crime. It's weird. They don't care about the criminals that perpetrate crime because it's like to them, for whatever reason, and by them, I mean those idiots that we were talking about earlier when Husky said you were going to confuse the idiots. Like, it's baked into society. But if one police officer does something wrong, every police officer in America is the worst person ever. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously?
What's up, Stone Cold Jeremy? Yeah, I mean, this is, and I wanted to bring this up because I know Perp would have something to say about it, but this is a situation where this person was clearly wrong. There's video evidence about how fucking wrong this person is, and they're screaming, help me, when they realize how much they fucked up. But yet,
Yeah, I
you
would probably want to scream, help me, too, after I unloaded my clip at the police. I missed, right? Because
yep.
I'm a terrible fucking shot because I'm a criminal. And then they shot back at me because they were afraid for their fucking lives and they're trained to take out the bad guy. So they shot back and they filled me full of lead. And I was like, oh, help me. Either somebody shoot the cops to help me or somebody help me stop bleeding. Like, yeah, of course you're going to yell, help me after you fucking got shot up, you fucking idiot. Maybe don't be a criminal first.
And I love, the thing that I love when these people start researching this and stuff like that is I love how they bring up and they highlight, oh well, they had so much life and they had such a great smile and all this. It's like, what the fuck does that have to do? What does that have to do with any?
Like everyone can have a great face and great
on the price
smile.
of tea in China.
You know what? Anakin had a great smile too before he fucking murdered younglings.
Right?
There was several people in history who did mass atrocities.
Skywalker, what are we going to do? And he's like, I know what we're going to do. I'm going to show you younglings how you use a lightsaber.
If you want a more historical one, let's see here. We got Hitler, Stalin, Mao, who's the current leader of China, Winnie the Pooh, fucking Kim Jong-un. They all smile.
Did you throw Winnie the Pooh in there? Who did Winnie the Pooh take out? I don't remember that story from the 100 Acre Wood.
No, dude, he's a leader of China. He's a leader of China.
I don't remember
I heard
the leader
Pooh and
of
I was
China's
like,
name. I'm not the president. I'm just the commander of the fandom zone.
Everyone called him Winnie everyone called him Winnie the Pooh, so that's how I fucking remember him. I'm like, okay.
No. When I heard Winnie the Pooh, I was like, he got tired of Eeyore's shit. He's like, okay, you want to fucking kill yourself, Eeyore? Well, here you go. But swinging back to the story, it is fucking ridiculous. So I got another comment here. Go ahead and read that, Mr. PB.
Okay, let me zoom in on the screen here, see what we're... Oh, slide over. Slaybar Guy PDC says, the same people that vilify the police are the people that don't think anyone should have the ability to defend themselves. What a bunch of fucks. I added the end.
Yeah, it's the same people, and it's ironic because it's the same people who will push for gun control and restrictions and things like that are the same people who are going to be wondering why the police
They're bodyguards with guns.
Yeah. Yeah, they have bodyguards to do that shit, but they also wonder why, oh my God, why are the police officers having slow response times? Well, they have fucking 18 investigations going on because all of you fucks feel the need of,
Because too much of the budget is sent to internal affairs now, you asshole.
Exactly. I mean, and I wanted to bring this up because I found it funny that in the time when we're worrying about the fucking coronavirus, we still have 150 assholes who decided to protest over some shit that shouldn't even be protesting. Thanks for mass gathering, you fucking idiots.
Yep, and I'm sure that they're going to go back and spend time with their families, and some of them are going to see their mothers this Sunday, don't forget to call your mothers this Sunday because it's Mother's Day, and people are going to get infected because of it. At
Hey
least
man,
that's
Sweden's
what
doing all
we're
right.
told.
Sweden's doing all
What?
right. Haven't you
Sweden?
seen this?
Nobody gives a
Yeah.
fuck about
No,
Sweden.
no. They never closed down, but they're told they'd have this high
Oh,
arc, and it's like, and then they had like another arc for if they took moderate, and then you look at it, and it's just like a little. And they didn't
That
do
was
shit because remember, you build up an immunity to things if you have an immune system, which we all do. You gotta be exposed to shit.
well, all of us
My
except
my,
the Bubble Boy.
yeah,
so
who
really
died
quick.
at the age of 12.
Uh, really quick, I wanna before I start closing stuff out, I do wanna shout out to uh Father Zod. Uh, he had some tests. We still haven't heard anything back, but I'm taking the long
Like, you
wait
haven't heard
as
anything back, period?
no. I'm gonna call him tomorrow and check in, but we still
Holy
haven't heard.
fucking shit, that's... Now you make
Yeah,
me more scared. Like, I thought you hadn't heard anything back from the doctors and you had been in contact with him. You
no,
scare me
I've
when
been
you
in
say
contact.
stuff like this.
Yeah, I've been in contact with him, but nothing back from the doctors. But if everyone doesn't
Oh,
know,
okay. It was
if
that way and
everyone
you just said it the wrong way. You fuck.
yeah, building the suspense. If you guys don't know, my father was was going through some testing. He went to the hospital and he had a cough and some warning signs for the coronavirus. They tested him for other stuff, which he didn't have. So by process of elimination, they had one test left. So they ran the coronavirus test. We still haven't gotten the results back, but I wanted to give him a shout out on the channel because he does listen to my streams, if not the day
I'm
they
just
aired, then after. So
glad that they had a kryptonite needle.
yes, those needles are extremely hard to get through the skin on your earth, but we haven't heard anything negative or positive, so uh, you know, that's all good, and
Well, no news is good news in this sense, then.
yeah, so I'm gonna talk with him tomorrow and get an update, but I just want to give him a shout out and let him know I love him and all of that stuff, and to all the mothers out there, uh this Sunday, Mother's Day, that's your day, so happy Mother's Day. Enjoy your time. I got the young one here. We're finally celebrating her birthday. 3 months pass because of Corona. So we're having a birthday party tomorrow. She's turning 13. So
Oh my
God help us all.
God.
Yeah. Zod is not happy with all of the kids. He's going to have to murder. Disclaimer. So yeah, I really I'm really happy that you guys are here on the channel. It's been a good distraction. I appreciate the viewership and I appreciate what y'all hanging out with us. We had 11 people or so. I know other things are going on, but you guys are hanging out with me and I appreciate it. And shout out to all the moms for Mother's Day. We appreciate you. I'm gonna be hanging with my mom, and I'm gonna be doing a season 7 overview of Clone Wars with Mr. PB here, LB, and
I'll be there this time. I have internet.
and Bert will be there as well. So we're gonna get a
Who?
giant season overview. Bert, the
Oh,
artist,
I thought you said Perp for a second. I was like, why the fuck is he gonna be there?
no, he'll be in the comments trolling us, but
For sure.
But thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go down the panelists here, and I appreciate you all hanging out and having a talk about protests and Clone Wars and naughty dogs and all sorts of fun stuff tonight. Let's go to the first good dog on the panel, Cyber. Tell them about how you're going to be an affiliate soon for Twitch.
I mean, I first got to get to 50 subs, and last time I checked, I was at 29, and I got to get an average watch time of 3 viewers, and I'm at like 2.6 because I don't know.
Because of Xbox.
Yeah, I lost the whole 0.1 because of that damn stream because no one came except for like I had 2 people in the stream the whole time, but it counted it as like, nah, you only got 1 person watching. I'm like, all right.
Weird.
I know.
Also, too, Generation Productions recently had a birthday yesterday. He is now 23. Oh, no, I read that. 33. Happy birthday, GP. We appreciate having you on the channel, man. Congrats. It doesn't get any better from here. So,
What?
Stone Cold Jeremy says, "What time do you stream, Cyber?"
Noon Central, Mondays through Fridays for now.
Put
Noon
your
Central.
Twitch link in the chat.
I did. I'll do it again.
Oh, I can't see it because I was
I'll do it
getting
again.
ready to put a different link in the chat.
I'm going to do it again now.
Hey
and
guys,
maybe one more
definitely.
time.
And see, Cyber's really dropping you a hint, man. Let's get him an affiliate. Unlike YouTube, it'll be easier for him to be monetized there than any of us. So, and of course, you know him, the co-host, the commander, the person who is mi amigo and keeps the fandom zone less fucked up. Of course, unless I piss him off. Mr. PB, tell them about all the great stuff. Maybe our channel, Prophets of Geek Culture, that we 3 and 2 others are a part of.
I don't know what mi amigo is. I don't speak French. Sorry. But yeah, I'm PB. You can find me on the internet at Prophets of Geek Culture, where I'm going to put out a new video in the next couple of hours. The link is in the chat. It's going to cover one of the topics that we talked about tonight, which was the Fury Files on Disney Plus. And you know, you'll probably laugh a little bit in the video, just like you did tonight, hanging with us in the fandom zone. Thanks for having us, General. It's unfortunate that Perp wasn't able to join us. So, you know, you can go and check him out too. And you can go check out Stevie J Reviews. You can go check out all of us prophets because, you know, we like to keep it real, unlike some other people on the internet that just like to be angry because they think it's entertaining. Granted, sometimes it is, but I like it when people are real. So if you want some real videos, go over to Prophets of Geek Culture, where we keep it real all the time, but you got to bring your salt shaker because there's many grains of salt that need to be had.
I'll do an occasional rant, but I think I'll start labeling them as rant videos if I'm going on a rant. So then you know that you are clicking some bullshit.
I also want to give a shout out to Jamie Vick. She said, "Great, I sub, but I haven't been to your streams. We appreciate having you, and thank you for the engaging conversation. I just want you guys to know, I appreciate all of you guys who have been here. I'm at 390, so hopefully I'll get back to 4 before the end of this year."
By guys, he means men and women and any hermaphrodites that happen to be watching.
And Kryptonians.
So that's a race.
That's not a gender.
That's like a species.
Yeah, what the fuck, guy?
Is it though? We can identify as anything.
I was doing genders. Did you know? Okay, funny thing. Everybody who's still listening will get a kick out of this, and so will you. I was looking up other ways to, reference the alphabet people because some people just like doing LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQIAP, blah 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 blah, whatever. But they've taken the letters and they've rearranged them, and now you can just call everybody a quilt bag.
There you go. We got your free label right there. So it encompasses everyone, and no one will be offended. And everyone loves quilts. So
they'll probably be offended, but they were going to anyways, so it's fine.
and it's okay because Earth sexually identifies as a black hole. That could be taken
Figured.
so many ways.
It's apocalypse, man.
But no, this Earth is referring to things in the galaxy, in the universe.
So you guys can find me on the Prophets of Geek Culture, where I handle the comic book end of things. So I'm gonna have some videos up there. I just been busy with work. Yay. And also, I'm going to be doing some live streaming. I'm going to be doing some tomorrow night for our late night talks, and we will be having some Sunday live streams. I got a Penny Dreadful live stream. Don't worry, Jamie Vick. The first half of it will be non-spoilers talk, and then the second half will dive deep and be spoiled as shit. So I'll give proper warning for that. And then at night, I'm going to wrap up our Clone Wars episode deep dive into a series overview. What did we think of the series? Was it good? Was it not good? I'm not going to answer that. You got to go watch. So everybody, thank you for joining.
It was
And
good.
as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel before General Zod.
Nah, the rule is you got to keep that pedophile stash shaved off.